Welcome to the AME Exclusive.
You can only get it here.
I'm Monica Dillyhunt.
And I'm Evelyn Sanders. And we are in Philadelphia. The AME Exclusive will give you up-close and personal reflections of the AME Bicentennial at the 50th Quadrennial Session of the General Conference.
Follow us on this digital journey as we take you through an extraordinary history and an incredible future.
Stay with us all week as we celebrate 200 years of our church's history. We give God praise and thanksgiving for the abundant blessings of the AME Church.
And remember, you can only get it here.
Excited because this is my first general conference, and because I'm proud of my heritage, it is almost like I'm all a part of it. Like I'm connected to everything that's going on.
I have been with the General Conference since 1964 in Cincinnati, Ohio. Never missed one.
I'm just so excited to be here. I'm praying for the Spirit to move. I know that we're here for business, but I want to make sure that we remember that God's Spirit goes before us, and that as long as we make sure that His presence is here, then we can get the things done that we need to do.
I am ecstatic. The best part of our general conferences are the opening services to me, because I like the pageantry and the bishops coming in and the general officers and the whole gamut. But I love the very first day, so I'm excited. And for it to be 200 years, I'm just honored to be a part of this.
So with this medallion, we hand down the history of God's people in their endeavor to liberate and reconcile all humanity through the African Methodist Episcopal Church. This medallion represents how far we have come and how far we have to go.
This is our birthplace, Philadelphia, so I think it was very, very, very important that we celebrated here. So I'm excited that. I think the torch run was a great idea to run from Dover, Bishop Allen's home, to Philadelphia. Symbolic, that was great. Mother Bethel, oh my gosh, beautiful. Still kept it together all these years. I'm glad they're making it intentional to add icons like the statue. The murals. I think that's something that we all should do across the country to recognize our history, because in a lot of instances we are first in all of our communities. Our churches have been first everywhere. I'm from Charleston, and our first church, Mother Emanuel, a lot of people know about Emanuel now, was our first church, and we too are trying to do the same thing to remember our past, because other cultures really appreciate it. And so therefore we should do a better job of preserving it and recognize it ourselves through icons and murals and statues.
Well, being that we are right down the street from Mother Emanuel, me personally, I knew 7 out of the 9 people. But, you know, it was so wonderful the way everybody came together, you know, all as one, united, helping them get through the tragedy. It was an awful time. It was an awful time. It was very hard. It was a hard time for everyone in South Carolina, not just right there in Charleston, but in South Carolina. But God brought us through. He brought us through.
This is, Evelyn is Diana and my granddaughter, and Eva is Diana's mother. So we have great-grandma, grandma, and great-grandbaby. We are an AME family. Been an AME family all our lives, well, all their lives. And I married into an AME family. So I've been in AME since, well, in the family for 35 years.
Your grandfather was an AME, right, Mama?
Yes.
And he and his wife attended general conferences and annual conferences and took her when she was a little girl.
Yes.
And we did. We started planning this over a year ago. And because we're in different states, Mom lives in South Carolina and we live in Kentucky. So we had to make sure that everything was in order and that she can get here because she does not fly. So we had to make sure that everything was in order for her to get here. And she arrived at 6 o'clock this morning. True AME wasn't going to miss opening worship service.
Well, I would like to see a bigger emphasis placed on youth and young adults, you know, ages maybe 18 to 45, and do some things that can, well, more things that can attract that age group.
I think foremost we need to keep before us the love of people and remember what our church was founded on. God our Father, Christ our Redeemer, and man our brother. And that last one, we need to be able to focus on how we are going to continue to minister to each other and to show that kind of love for us to continue to grow.
And so I like the fact that we made a stand in order to be able to worship the way that we want to worship. I like the fact that our property is the oldest continuously being owned by a group of African people. So I like that. And I also like our focus on education and those kinds of things. So I'd like to see us get back to focusing on keeping the colleges and the universities and those things open and operating in a way that's befitting to our history.
I think it's very important for us as a body of believers to think about what it means to move forward and move in the future. I also think as an African Methodist Episcopal Church, with all that's going on, particularly in our country, and then also that's been affecting our churches lately, it's very important for us to think about what about the past do we need to make sure that we keep with us, the traditions and the things that we need to move forward from. How do we move forward with those? How do we remain? How do we keep the legacy that was set, but then how do we build on that foundation? So I think it's important, particularly as a millennial and as a young adult, that we make sure that we build on those things and not just stay stagnant as a church and just we have all this history but no move forward movement.